Man is going to roll, hit Nathan Stobbs, 24-yard touchdown pass, 14-0 Newman. They'll be tough to stop Manny.
And Newman answers the call tonight at Hannon and spoils the party 28-0. Vanderbilt Catholic won at St. Charles 16-12, and we are still awaiting a Lutcher East St. John score. On the North Shore, Salmon took on Archbishop Slidell.
Archbishop Slidell, what a cut. Defense is always a big factor. Great defense early in the game. Salmon stopped for a 2-yard loss.
The pass then by the Slidell quarterback is rushed by Salmon's Sutton, who is really a terrific player.
He's a good player. On 4th down, Slidell's going to try to punt, but it's blocked by number 90 for Salmon. Turnovers again play a big part in this ballgame.
2 plays later, Bill Stubbs' team makes a good running effort here down to the 1-yard line as his team was hungry and aiming for the goal line.
Same thing. Here, number 2 takes a fake. Nice cut back inside in the end zone, 18-0. Salmon over Slidell early.
Salmon led it 18-0, and they went on to hold on from there. 18-zip over Slidell. In that game, there was a shooting at halftime. A 15-year-old allegedly shot a 19-year-old with a semi-automatic weapon. The youngster is in critical condition. Don't know if the 2 involved were students. Elsewhere on our board, let's get back to football. Covington 35-7 over Denham Springs, and Nichols over Walker 6-2. And East St. John tonight beat Lutcher by a score of 10-7. Now, defending state 4A champion Hahnville, now in 5A and opening at home against Kennedy.
Hahnville's got a good football team. Again, Kennedy's Roosevelt Joyner is sacked by number 22, Ricky Bruce. Good defense.
A returning player he is, and a good one. Hahnville's Rondell Honor then picks up 19 tough yards. He's the replacement for Horace Raymond.
And he's got big shoes to fill. Honor again. Otis Cooper clogs it up and stops short.
Quinn Guidry then comes on. They're all looking at him. He's a fine kicker. 22 yards, a drop in the bucket for Quinn. It was 31-0 Tigers at that point.
Kennedy goes to the shotgun with a 2-minute drill. Tries to hit Dennis LeBlanc, gained 35 yards. Kennedy's got some athletes.
Then it was Joyner to LeBlanc. Again, a 23-yard touchdown. Hahnville 31-6 at the half. And no problem for Hahnville, although Kennedy played it competitively tonight. 49-22, the Tigers win it. Riverside surprised Ascension Catholic 34-6, the defending 1A state champs. And it was Destrahan, 81 points scored tonight. The Wildcats had 42 of them, and they won it 42-39. Up the river on the West Bank, St. James at #1 ranked club in 1A, West St. John, and they were cooking up the jambalaya.
Here we go early in the game. Rams are going back to punt. It was a fake. It was smelled out by number 37, Sheldon Stobbs. Right here, watch this. Nice job, nice block. Gets the ball in the end zone for the safety early in the game. That's an important factor.
And Laurie DuPont, not a happy man. West St. John punting again at their 14, blocked by Marlon Valentine, a safety, and that was 2 for St. James.
Rams quarterback Ira Jackson is going to get a big touchdown pass, as we just saw the number 18-yard gain for a face mask penalty added on top of it.
Then it was Jackson to Brian Lewis on the slant, and Dwayne Thomas scores on the dive as body slammed here by Nikhil Looper, the toughest hit of the night. And the Rams, Looper can hit you and he can run, and the Rams won it 22-8. It was St. Paul's over South Terrebonne, 26-14, and we have a third quarter score here. It is Forche 12 and Booker T. Washington nothing. We're just getting started. Up next, Shaw and Hahnville, a match made in heaven for the fans, but for the coaches, a different story. That after the 5A scoreboard for the top 10 teams statewide, and a break on Friday Night Football.
I'm Steve Stonebreaker, and I know the difference between tough and tender. Now, those guys on the football field, they're tough, but my Stonebreaker's ribs, now they're tender. Baby back, smoky beef, St. Louis Select, or Prime. Juicy and delicious. My food's got to be great because these guys are tough.
We cook them slow, slow, slow at Stonebreakers. Our food is as good as our name.
Stonebreakers!
2700 Edenborn behind Schwegman's off Vets.
Funky, what are you doing? I'm painting like Helm because it's Helm's fantastic fall sale. And I'm slapping on the savings. I'm rolling out the specials. I'm pulling on the discounts with savings like these. So start painting like Helm without
Good prices, Funky.
what?
Great prices, Funky.
What?
Incredible prices, Funky.
That's more like it.
And supply.
When fun and games turn into aches and pains, it's nice to know where to turn for help. The Sports Medicine Center at Lakeside Hospital is based on a team approach. Physicians, therapists, and personal fitness trainers work with you and your doctor to make sure you get a treatment program geared to your needs. Everything from state-of-the-art surgery to individualized training and rehabilitation programs. Don't let aches and pains keep you out of the game. Call Lakeside Hospital for more information. 885-LIFE.
Next Friday night at Hahnville, Shaw comes to town. The game is big enough, but the spice in the pot is the relationship between Shaw head coach Hank Tierney and Darren Barbier. It's a dream matchup. Shaw head coach takes on former Shaw player and Eagle defensive coordinator. The two were together for an '87 state championship. The assistant left for Hahnville in '89 and won his title 4 years later. What a great matchup. Unless you're the Tierneys and the Barbiers.
In fact, I'll probably go on the Shaw side first, tell everybody I know hello, and then I'll come back to my side. But I will be very nervous for Darren. Not for Hank, not for Joanne, not for Shaw or Hahnville, but for Darren.
It would seem like it would be fun and unpleasant to play each other, right?
That's exactly what it is.
The fans wanted this one, and when Barbier couldn't find anyone who wanted to play him in week 2, he called Hank, who dropped Curtis to play Hahnville.
But that's how he told it to me. We got 2 open days right now. You got to play me. I got to get a game. I got to get 10 games. So I said, well, if you really want to play, we'll play.
I said, bad idea. They had just won the state championship. They have a fabulous team.
How close are you and Hank?
I'd say about as close as you can get without being brothers.
Close enough to endure some difficult moments. State championship final 1988. Ruston scores and leads 20-14. They line up to kick the extra point.
Still in the game now, 2014, and a kid named Brett Adams blocked it, picked it up, and ran 98 yards with it. While I was running down to him, he said, don't get too excited, we got 12 men on the field. We got 12 men on the field. He goes, yeah, I don't think the referee sees them now. And then I looked up and the referee's counting. Sure enough, the flag came out, the points went back, you know.
The two talk constantly, but the phone lines will allegedly be silent next week as Darren meets his mentor.
If I know Hank, he's going to try to beat my brains in just like I'm going to try to beat his in.
We'll check the top 10 in Hahnville's old class 4A and return with more scores and highlights on Friday Night Football.
Time out. We'll be right back with more Friday Night Football.
That's the 3A top 10. Now let's move to Franklin at Chalmette. The Chalmette Owls and Jay Pittman have restored the roar to their program. They're off and running again this year, Coach.
They are, and this is a little bit of a mismatch early. Young man has the ball, bowling, sweat, trying to sweep right, and gets thrown to the ground really hard in the end zone for a safety. Big play for Chalmette.
Ensuing kick, the Owls' Robert Vicknair fields it. Checks out the blocking, gets a nice block by 72, goes down the right side, makes a cut back. A fine kick return for the Owls, who have some speed out there, and a 44-yard run by Vic Nair.
A little bit later in the game, we're going to see Jeff Gunn right here, up the middle, breaks it for 44 yards for a touchdown. Chalmett's going to win it really big.
And they do at that, 51-0. It was King 27, St. Bernard nothing. And in overtime, South Lafourche, or Central Lafourche, over Abramson 10-7. Across the causeway goes Rummel to meet Mandeville, and it's not that far a drive.
No, it's not, but I'm going to tell you, watch Rick Collada here, just out of baseball a couple of weeks, going to have a nice pass to number 85, Robert Johnson, 62 yards and a touchdown, early 7-0 Rummel lead. Nice catch, nice run. Slip and fell, I guess.
Then 6 plays later, McCollum completes a pass to Anthony Giovingo for a 36-yard gain down to the Rummel 5-yard line.
And then here we go 2 plays later. We're going to see Kieron Doherty pounds it in from 2 yards out. They're going to tie the score 7-7. It's going to be a good ball game.
And they tied it at 7-7, but Rummel untied it and won it 21-14. It was Acadiana 14, Hammond nothing, and Ellender over McMain by a score of 41-0. This afternoon, Pope John Paul against Country Day. Cajuns out there, and Pope John Paul, too. They're ready to go to work.
Pope John Paul's leading 7-0. Country Day's Patrick Norman misses a handoff, fumbles. Pope John Paul's 52, Rick Mester recovers the fumble.
3 plays later, Brad Duvernay runs it in from the 9-yard line for a touchdown at Pope John Paul. A fine second and third effort from that young man, leading 14-0.
After the kickoff, Country Day quarterback Cole LaBourgeois has his pass intercepted by Dwayne Henderson. He returns it 43 yards for a touchdown. Defense early in the season again.
The defense again. Pope John Paul at 21-0 following a botched punt. Country Day tries to come back. John Moss to a Desola Badon for an 8-yard touchdown. It was 21-7 at that point. But it was Pope John Paul with the win, 30-14. St. Martin's 10, Ridgewood 6, and Independence in the post-Joe Harris years over Laranger, 32-0. Our scholar athlete is a young man with lots of options. This segment again sponsored by Helm Paint and Supply. All-State quarterback Chuck Parquette carries a 3.4 grade point average in the honors curriculum. A member of the National Honor Society and National Leadership Conference, Chuck Parquette can pick his college.
Syracuse, North Carolina, Notre Dame, Clemson, Arkansas, teams like that. Basically teams that run the option.
People who look at much as the academics as they do as athletics have all contacted him and are recruiting him. So he's the complete student athlete of the kind, which we're real proud of at Shaw.
Get it back. Blue.
One of the top option quarterback recruits in the country, Chuck Parquette's immediate goal, lead the Shaw Eagles to a district title. Shaw's Chuck Parquette, our first scholar athlete for 1993. Counselors may nominate seniors with outstanding academic and athletic credentials for our Scholar Athlete Award. Write us at WGNO TV at the address on your screen. We'll be back right after this with more of Friday Night Football on WGNO TV. Welcome back to Friday Night Football. Ed Daniels and the coach, J.T. Curtis. Let's look over the rest of our scores as we have them this evening. Coach, North Shore 22, Lawless nothing. Christian Life beat Crescent City Baptist 36-22. Picayune, Mississippi, leading Bogalusa 12-0 at the half. The last report we got on that game. Terrebonne 18, Thibodaux 14. Gulfport, Mississippi over Acole 33-0. Port Sulphur 14-13 over E.D. White. Moving along on our board. Amite 21, Plaquemine 15. Baton Rouge Central 34, Ponchatoula 15. Kentwood 28, Sumner nothing. Moving along on our Friday Night Football board. Franklinton 6, Varnado 6, Albany 34, Springfield nothing, and Walker beat Pearl River by a score of 22-7. Recruiting is such a hot topic in our state, we've added Bayou Pigskin Recruiting Magazine's Benny Latino to our lineup. Benny's an Atlanta Braves scout whose opinion about football is sought by many to pick the hot prospects. Now, over the next 16 shows, the best prospects of our area, we call them the Stonebreakers. Sweet 16.
Louisiana is blessed with two of the top 3 prep quarterbacks in the country. Evangel's Josh Booty and Newman's Peyton Manning. Manning is the subject of our very first Sweet 16 report. As a junior, the son of Saints Pro Bowl quarterback Archie Manning threw for 2,245 yards and 30 touchdowns. Manning doesn't run like Dad, but still ran for 7 TDs. The 6'5", 200-pound Newman Greeny can make all the throws, but his biggest asset may be his understanding of how to play the position and win. It's why Peyton Manning is a chip off the old block and the apple of college coaches' eyes. Manning likes schools who feature the drop-back pass. In the hunt, Florida, Florida State, Stanford, Texas, and Dad's old school, Ole Miss.
Each Sweet 16 prospect and 3 guests receive dinner at Stonebreakers, and we understand the ribs are pretty good. Now, last night, the first ever WGNO Prep Kickoff Classic, it was John Curtis and St. Aug. I was looking for you over there. I found you, and you found your offense in the second half last night. Let's take a look.
St. Aug were both injured. This got his mom really excited. Jeff takes the ball at a 16-yard option. I could hear her yelling from the end zone. I think he could, too. It was a great run for him.
It was 7-0 at that point. 7-7 at the half after Rhodes, before he was injured, scored with a 2-yard touchdown run.
This was a nice surprise for us. Mike Strawn comes in for the injured Chris Howard. 12-yard touchdown runs, had 101 yards in the night.
And Kevin Dukes wasn't too shabby either, our MVP with 118 yards rushing.
Kevin's a good football player. Of course, he had a lot of pressure on him last night to fill in for Chris Howard, and we're pleased with him. I got to congratulate St. Aug and their group. They're a class outfit and a good football team.
And Curtis, 30-13 over St. Aug on Thursday night. Now let's look at the rest of our Thursday scores. It was Carr 48, Riverdale nothing. Central Catholic defeated Gaines 53-7. It was Pine 2, Dexter nothing, and Buras beat St. John by a score of 15-14. We'll be back with more Friday Night Football after this on WGNO 26. The best ribs in town.
And the best prep highlight show in town.
Stonebreakers Restaurant and WGNO TV connect on Friday Night Football.
Each Friday night, watch the award-winning Friday Night Football at 10:30 on our big screen. If you're hustling back from the game, don't worry about missing a thing. We'll replay the show from 11 to midnight, serving a special Friday Night Football menu.
That's Friday Night Football
at Stonebreakers Restaurant.
The place to be after the game.
This is the Church's Got a Lot of Network.
Brings the return of our teen report. Tiffany Bennett of McDonough 35 shows us some students who know how to paint the town.
You might have seen these colorful trash cans around town, especially the lakefront. The new cans are part of a beautification effort by the Orleans Levee Board and Pieces of Power.
When they just see a plain old can, a lot of people are creative, so they might take something and spray paint all over it. So if they see something already on it and it's nice, they probably like, oh, well, it's already done up.
Pieces of Power is a 3-year-old program for New Orleans talented teenagers founded by local artist Richard Thomas.
It teaches you painting, it gets you invited into art galleries and shows, and you also get paid. So it's real good in that aspect.
Several of these pieces of power artists say they try really hard to make their designs very colorful to encourage people over to the trash cans. And once they're there, they can throw their trash away.
I believe it'll help a great deal if all the people in New Orleans participate and just have fun doing it.
For Friday Night Football, I'm Tiffany Bennett.
Well, it's been fun. See you next week on the road to the Superdome, week 2.
You're right. It's been a great first week. If the rest are like this, it's going to be some exciting.
Good night, everyone, from all of us at WGNO Sports.